document that
What
they could...
Bro, one of the confidential depositions that were unredacted shows Johannes Schoberg, who told a previous story about Prince Andrew putting a puppet hand on Joffrey's breast. At one point, Ghislaine told me to come upstairs, and we went into a closet and pulled out the puppet. That's the puppet. Oh, God, it's so gross, dude. The document just got leaked? No, it didn't get leaked, okay? The document did not get leaked. CNN is covering it. Like, you cannot leak something that CNN is currently in the process of, like, writing an article about. Guy live tweeting info found in Epstein docs thread. Unredacted Epstein documents. Ghislaine Maxwell says Clinton never had a meal on Epstein's island. She's asked about her relationship with Doug Bann, who worked for Clinton. Yeah, it is out. You are so dismissive. No, I'm saying I was just dismissive to the sentiment that it's leaked, quote unquote leaked. I mean, I can download it myself. I can try and download it myself. Nah, bro, it did leak, and I have bad news for you. Cenk is in there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't actually get it off Court Listener because it's being like DDoSed basically. Is literally, I mean, I got the flight logs. All right, I guess we'll wait for this guy to read it piece by piece. Another example, defendant refused to answer questions about her knowledge that Johanna Schoberg was hired to work for Epstein and provide a massage. The police report, Johanna admitted that Maxwell recruited her to work for Epstein. Do you know what task Johanna was hired to perform? She was tasked to answer telephones. Did you ever ask her to rub Jeffrey's feet? I believe that I have read that, but I don't have any memory of it. Elon's going to be on there and he's going to shut down Twitter. No, not Elon, but Elon's brother is. For those of you who don't know, Kimball Musk is a Jeffrey Epstein associate, a known Jeffrey Epstein associate. But yeah, his brother literally was like dating one of Jeffrey Epstein's girls, as a matter of fact, and frequently spent time in Jeffrey Epstein's New York mansion. Yes, Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk. Did you ever tell Joanna that she would get extra money if she provided Jeffrey massages? I was always happy to give career advice to people. Career advice. Nice. Jesus Christ. And I think that becoming somebody in the healthcare profession, either exercise instructor, nutritionist, or professional massage therapist, is an excellent job opportunity. Hourly wages are around $7, $8, $9. And as a professional healthcare provider, you can earn somewhere between, as we have established, 100, 200, and be able to travel and have a job that pays a wonderful job opportunity. So in the context of advising people for opportunities to work, it is possible that I would have said that she should explore that as an option. What, rubbing Jeffrey Epstein's feet? But of course, contextually. Dude, contextually in the job opportunity field. Dude, everyone who's a Jeffrey Epstein associate, when asked questions, responds in the funniest ways possible. It's like Prince Andrew being like, no, actually, I'm incapable of sweating. Famously, it's impossible for me to sweat. I have a disease specifically that renders it impossible for me to sweat. Right? Famously. All right, CNN is covering the files.
But this is all, part of this lawsuit and part of the reason why the...
Meanwhile, you'll be covering the top of the hour ad break with a subscription. And by that, I mean you'll cover your eyes if you are not subscribed for 3 minutes. 3-minute ad break. Why am I talking like this? I'm stuck. Okay, here's the 3-minute ad break now. Jesus Christ.
News organizations and, just other information that has come out over the 20 years that Epstein has been alleged to have been involved in this sex trafficking operation. So we're starting to see some of these names come out. And Virginia Giuffre has been very public about her allegations, accusing prominent politicians of having been forced to have sex with them, as well as her allegations against Prince Andrew. She had reached a settlement with the prince where he's agreed to make a sizable donation. So we're going to go through these documents to see if we're learning any new names or new allegations. But a lot of this information has already been public, and that is why the judge has agreed to unseal it.
We'll see what happens. Kara Scannell, thank you very much.
Every single one of Jeffrey Epstein's associates has defended themselves in the weirdest ways possible, from the classic Alan Dershowitz, I always had my underwear on defense, to, oh God, CNN skipped it already. What the hell? They just confirmed Ludwig was on the logs 23 times. Stop. Dude, stop. Come on, guys. That's not funny. All right, what else we got on the Epstein stuff, man? I hate that CNN covered it so shortly. All right, let's keep going. Document, Maxwell, have you ever engaged in sex with any female? Lawyer, I'm going to instruct you not to answer. Apparently, Maxwell tried to argue that she never arranged or asked Miss Giuffre to have sex with anyone. From same file, Maxwell apparently had a physical outburst at a deposition where she knocked over a court reporter's computer. Does only CNN have it? Why the f*** they get it alone? No, everybody has it. It's just we can't download it because it's unfortunately the court listener document is, you can't download it because everyone's clicking on it and trying to get it. Chat keeps clicking on it. But here we have some of it. I have the flight logs and I have this, the deposition. God, I wish we could just like watch the videos. Chat saying Philip DeFranco linked it. I mean, Philip DeFranco does watch, so it's not crazy that he would be in here linking it. It's 89 pages. What do you mean some? No, I think the court docs are longer. Can't we talk the ads and not serve them? No, I did. I did serve them 6 minutes ago. Control F Clinton. Okay, dude. Yeah, the actual document is longer than that. Like, much longer. And these aren't client lists. I've told you guys already. These are not client lists, okay? These are associate lists. I mean, can you even control F in this? Oh yeah, you can't. It doesn't work. NBC's covering it right now. Or is this a
These documents still have redaction, and it's our understanding that some of the victims who were underage at the time of the abuse have asked that their identities still be protected, and the judge has wanted to honor that. 2 of them, we don't obviously know their identities. They're still anonymous. The court has said she's going to look at that. She's going to take it under evaluation and figure out what to do with documents that still mention those 2 people. If there are any John Does, perhaps, you know, former associates, friends of Epstein's, men who were associated with him in ways, obviously, that are problematic, we'll have to wait and see. But the court has already said most of these documents are not supposed to be salacious. Again, a lot of this has come out through public evidence and reporting so far, but we're still in early days here as we dig through just the first couple of these and come on the air with you.
And Laura, I know because so many people have been attracted to this story. They've watched this story. It's led to so many conspiracy theories. Going through the documents I went through, I did see already names redacted. We know part of it might be a John Doe, a Jane Doe, who the court's going to review now for 30 days. But again, there's also victims who they don't want their names out there.
Right.
Will those names stay redacted because they were minors at the time of the crime?
They should. They have asked for their identities to be protected. They have said that they have faced threats given the connection to this case, and so they have asked for their own safety for those names to stay redacted, and I think the court is going to honor that, Tom.
Okay, Laura, I know you got to pour through about 900 documents, so we're going to let you do that. When you find something else interesting, we're going to come back to you. We thank you for your initial reporting so far. For more on this shocking list and what it means, I want to bring in Shan Wu. He's a criminal defense attorney and a former federal prosecutor, and Bernarda Villalona. She's also a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. We thank you both for being here, our legal eagles tonight, if you will. I'm going to start with you, Bernarda. I'm going to actually start with you. Why is this happening? Did the judge have to do this?
Well, the judge didn't have any legal grounds to prevent this from happening. So remember, if a decision has to be made in terms of a judge making a decision, the first thing that they're looking at to see, what does the law tell me of how I should guide my decision? And here, there is no legal way for her to have stopped from this information coming forward, with the exception of, as you can see, there's still some Jane Does that remain in these documents. And that's because the law has to weigh in the privacy interest. Does it outweigh the public interest? And that's why those names still remain redacted and they're referred to as Jane Does. So the judge had no choice but to unseal these redacted documents.
Shan, as Laura was reporting, a lot of these are depositions. That's what I read. It was a deposition of Ghislaine Maxwell. The lawyers essentially can ask anything. They could mention any name, and it would be in these court documents. Just because someone's name is in these court documents, it doesn't necessarily mean they've committed a crime or they've even done anything nefarious, correct?
That's correct, yeah. As Laura was saying, there are so many names mentioned here, and many of the people knew that their names had mentioned. This happened quite some time ago, and that is a really important point. I mean, there's so much on social media with these conspiracy theories that the mere mention of the names means that the people have done something wrong. That's absolutely untrue. I mean, it could be fertile ground for plaintiffs' lawyers to mine if there are existing civil cases going on.
Yeah, listen.
This evidence could corroborate that somebody
just because they're not actually direct associates or like engaged in criminal acts doesn't mean that we can't speculate. Okay,
might be victims. Whether new victims may emerge after this type of release, either from seeing the names of people, recognizing who they are, or feeling more empowered to come forward now that this is public.
What does this do for Virginia Giuffre, who may be the most high profile of Jeffrey Epstein's victims? All these names are out as part of her lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell. We should also mention, she has already settled a suit with Prince Andrew as well, and she removed a suit against the lawyer Alan Dershowitz, misidentifying him, at least in her words. So what happens to her case now, and is this a victory for her in a sense?
It's a huge victory for her because it's vindication for her, because for many years, people kept trying to shut her up, trying to say that she is lying, that she's making this up, that this is a money grab for her. And for her, she wanted justice in the sense of not just holding just Jeffrey Epstein accountable and Ghislaine Maxwell accountable, but she also felt that these associates that helped to empower these men should have been held accountable. And the reality is that nothing's going to happen to them. There's not going to be any criminal charges. I don't see any further civil lawsuit. So if anything, this is going to be a public shaming for those that were associated with them.
Shan, for the very powerful, right?
Yep.
And we mentioned some of the names of the people who have associated with Jeffrey Epstein in the past. We know of former President Bill Clinton. We know of former President Trump, Prince Andrew. This is something the public knows. Could they have done anything with their legal teams to prevent their names from being in these documents, or is that genie already out of the bottle?
I think the genie now is out of the bottle. They may have tried to do something. There'd be an argument that
What
they could
the
make
fuck?
that this could cause them a lot of security.
Bro, one of the confidential depositions that were unredacted shows Johannes Schoberg, who told a previous story about Prince Andrew putting a puppet hand on Jeffrey's breast. At one point, Ghislaine told me to come upstairs, and we went into a closet and pulled out the puppet, the caricature of Prince Andrew, and brought it down. And there was a little tag on the puppet that said Prince Andrew on it. And that's when I knew who he was. And I did. What did the puppet look like? It looked like him. And she brought it down and presented it to him. And that was a great joke, because apparently it was a production from a show on BBC. And they decided to take a picture with it, in which Virginia and Andrew sat on the couch. They put the puppets on Virginia's lap. And I sat on Andrew's lap. And they put the puppet's hand on Virginia's breast. And Andrew put his hand on my breast. And they took a photo. You remember who took the photo? I don't recall. Did you ever see the photo after it was taken? I did not. That's the puppet. Oh, God, it's so gross, dude.
The producers of Spitting Image have very kindly offered me a chance to speak directly to you, the public. Come down, they said. Sit right there in that chair, they said, and hold your head just like this.
That's crazy, dog. That's crazy.
Finder there. The reality is that the damage is done once these names are revealed, because the public is going to make their own determination as to the validity of the question and the answer. So that black cloud is going to remain forever for any names that are mentioned there. But it's important to note is to keep everything into context. And what context are these names being mentioned? Is it, oh, the person visited, or the person was multiple times at the location, or was the person an employee, or was the person on Jeffrey Epstein's plane? It's all about context. But to me, the damage is done, because we know what public shaming can do for anyone's reputation.
Shan, I have a sort of a long question for you, but just follow me along here. There's so much mystery surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, right? Ever since this case first broke, ever since he committed suicide. When I was, as a reporter investigating Jeffrey Epstein, I went to the Epstein Island that is just off the coast there in the Caribbean. And even the people who worked on that island, they had all these rumors, they had all these ideas. There was a mystery of him even in the Caribbean as well. And what I want to get at is, do you think that some of these mysteries, some of these questions are going to be answered with these documents, or are they just going to lead to more questions?
You know, unfortunately, I think they're going to lead to more questions. One of the big mysteries has always been,
I think he meant after he was dead or something, you know what I mean? Not like,
you know, what kind of leverage might he had on powerful people. I don't think we're going to see that here. We're going to see a lot of the connections, corroboration of the fact that he knew people, corroboration that people were in certain places at certain times, and you know that might provide some grounds for new theories of civil liability. The criminal statute of limitations are mostly passed. Very few states have done away with those limitations. But I think it's really going to lead to a lot more questions.
Have you had any experience with Desiree
probably a lot more
Asher? Who the hell is
speculation.
Desiree
Shannon,
Asher?
Bernard, I want you guys to stand by as well. If we get some more headlines, we're going to come back to you for analysis. We appreciate your time. For right now, we want to turn to that other major headline we're following tonight, those deadly explosions in Iran.
I stumbled across a
killing
party
nearly
on
100
St.
people.
Bart's in the Caribbean. He
bombs
passed of
exploding just
Desiree
minutes apart during
Asher.
a ceremony commemorating
She was
the
holding a
death of
party on the
Iranian
island,
General
supposedly drug-fueled
Hassan
orgy.
Soleimani
Wait,
in
what?
2020.
Okay, they skipped it. They're done. Wait, what are you talking about? Who the hell is a Desiree Asher? Another chatter said, how do you not know Desiree Asher, bro? What is this, like a D's Nuts joke or something? Child Rescue Coalition. I have no idea who this person is. Did you know Ghislaine Maxwell also had a huge Reddit account and was modding a shitload of subs? It was a huge account called Maxwell Hill that posted 10 plus years and stopped posting the day she was arrested. Yeah. I do remember that. She was on Ice P stream. What? Ew. Why do you guys, what the fuck? Yo, cut it out right now. Okay. Schoberg asked if she was forced to massage or have sex with long list of people, denies them all. Sorry, I have to ask, but did you ever have sex with Alan Dershowitz in the back of a limousine with Virginia and Jeffrey present? Absolutely not. Do you know who Alan Dershowitz is? Schoberg is asked. I do. She replies, you would remember. I would remember that. Yeah, I mean, you would remember if you were forced to have sex with Alan Dershowitz, yes. He would have kept his underwear on anyway, you know what I mean? So it don't matter. That's the Alan Dershowitz way. That's the Dershy way, dude. Like the Aki way. Except not the Aki way, but the Dershy way. Here's the Dersh name drop. And where does Alan Dershowitz fit in that group of people? Sam, I can't tell you piece by piece who. I know Glenn Dubin was first. Okay. And I know Steve Kaufman was one of the first I was sent to. Alan Dershowitz could have been there, between Glenn and Steven. The first time I was with Alan Dershowitz was in New York, so I wasn't actually sent to him. It actually happened in one of Jeffrey's residences. Ms. McCauley left a deposition, so it's very hard for me to chronologically give you each person individually. By Miss Menninger, okay, name the other politically connected and financially powerful people that Ghislaine Maxwell told you to have sex with. Again, I'm going to tell you they, because that's how it went. They instructed me to go to George Mitchell, Jean-Luc Brunel, Bill Richardson, another prince that I don't know his name, a guy that owns a hotel, a really large hotel chain. I can't remember which hotel it was. Marvin Minsky. There was, another foreign president. I can't remember his name. He was Spanish. There's a whole bunch of them that it's hard for me to remember all of them. I was told to do something by these constantly told to. My whole life revolved around just pleasing these men and keeping Ghislaine and Jeffrey happy. The whole lives revolved around sex. They call massages sex. They call modeling sex. This one is searchable and seems to have everything. Oh, this is 943 pages. I think this is everything. From what? Gmax Lmax to Philip Barton, Ross Gow, the Terramar Project. What is this? Oh, Gmax is Ghislaine's email account. I'm out of my depth to understanding defamation and other legal hazards and don't want to end up in a lawsuit aimed at me from anyone if I can't help it. Apparently even saying Virginia is a Leah has hazard. I've never been in a suit, criminal or civil, and wanted to stay that way, said Ghislaine Maxwell on Saturday, January 10th, 2015. Oops. Now you're in prison. Let's get it twisted. One such powerful individual that Epstein forced the then minor Jane Doe to have sexual relations was with former Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, a close friend of Jeffrey and well-known criminal defense attorney. Well-known for also defending, in the future, the state of Israel. Alan Dershowitz, also known as the Dersh. 48 mentions of Alan. Goddamn. Epstein required Jane Doe 3 to have sexual relations with Dershowitz on numerous occasions while she was a minor, not only in Florida, but also on private planes in New York, New Mexico. Is this the real court document, man? Epstein required Jane Doe 3 to have sexual relations with Dershowitz on numerous occasions while she was a minor, not only in Florida, but also on private planes in New York, New Mexico, and U.S. Virgin Islands. In addition to being participant in the abuse of Jane Doe 3 and other minors, Dershowitz was an eyewitness to the sexual abuse of many other minors by Epstein and several of Epstein's co-conspirators. Dershowitz would later play a significant role in negotiating the MPA on Epstein's behalf. Indeed, Dershowitz helped negotiate an agreement that provided immunity from federal prosecution in the Southern District of Florida, not only to Epstein, but also to any potential co-conspirators of Epstein. This is a key fact, by the way. This is very important. The prosecutor, the federal prosecutor in the state of Florida at the time that gave him that sweetheart plea deal said, his name was Alex Acosta. You might recognize him from the Donald Trump administration because Donald Trump made Alexander Acosta his labor secretary. However, thing is, At the time, Alex Acosta had specifically stated that the order came from above. Go to page 207 on the document. Fucking wild. Why? What's going on? I was living in secret about what I was doing during the massages, and I did not want my friends to know what I was doing, so I did not want anyone else coming into that. Was Bill Clinton a friend to Jeffrey Epstein? Objection. Foundation, says Ms. Menninger. By Miss Cawley. Let me back up. Do you know if Bill Clinton was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? I knew he had dealings with Bill Clinton. I did not know they were friends until I read the Vanity Fair article about them going to Africa together. Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Do you ever recall taking a trip to Jeffrey Epstein's home in New Mexico? That's where the Clintons used to go to, by the way. All the time. That's the crazy ranch that the Clintons would frequently go to. And do you recall who went on that trip with? Sarah Kellen was there. Ghislaine was there. That's all I recall. Do you recall why you went on the trip to New Mexico to work, to perform massage on that trip? Yes. Did you? Do you recall whether you performed massages with Sarah Kellen on that trip? No. Do you recall in the New Mexico home ever observing nude photos of females there? I don't recall. When you would provide massages, would you provide those massages naked? On occasion. On average, would you be naked if it was 100% of the time, more than 50% of the time? Can you repeat it? Sure. When you're performing the massage, can you tell me, you said on occasion, over the 5 years that you worked for him, how often did you perform massages naked? Somewhere between 25 to 50% of the time. Did Epstein try to make the massage sexual? On occasion. Do you believe that your experience during the years you were with Jeffrey and Maxwell damaged you? Objection, leading, form. It affected me. Damaged is a strong word. Oh, this is, wait, whoa. Is this the OG? Yo, this looks like it might be the OG. Is this the OG? Trump on page 78. Okay, we'll get back to 209 in a second. Did you train Virginia on how to recruit girls to perform sexual massages? Wait, hold up. Let me see what Trump is up to in here. Whoa, just a casino. And do you recall where you flew when you traveled that first time with Jeffrey Epstein? We left from Palm Beach and landed in Atlantic City for a few hours because there was a storm in New York, then got back on the plane and landed in Teterboro. And you say you recall landing in Atlantic City. Did you go into Atlantic City? Yes, we went to one of Trump's casinos. Did you actually go into the casino itself? Do you recall Virginia at the time, Virginia Roberts being present with you? Yes. Do you recall if she was went to the casino? She was underage. Dude, I'm sorry, but that's like funny in a very tragic and very dark way that like she can't go into the casino, but also is flying with Jeffrey Epstein. I did not know anything about how old you had to be to gamble legally. Like, it's insane. Like, she's not old enough to go into a fucking casino, but she's like being blown around by Jeffrey Epstein. Jesus Christ. Fuck. I just knew she could not get in because of an ID issue, so she and I did not gamble. In your opinion, did Virginia look young in your view? Yes. Did you wish at the time we wonder why she was traveling with Jeffrey? At that time, I did not. Did you later wonder that? Yes. And what was your impression? Objection, vague, speculative. We're jumping ahead. Is that okay? Yes, that's okay. A few days later, I remember asking her questions, trying to figure out her role while she was there, and she gave me vague answers and was never specific. Okay, let's look at the other Trump mention. Jeffrey said, great, we'll call up Trump and we'll go to, I don't recall the name of the casino. We'll go to the casino. What happened with the ID issue? Objection. All I knew was that she was not going to be allowed to gamble, so I spent time with her. We were just walking around. I don't remember what we did because either she didn't have an ID or she was too young. I don't remember specifically why. I just knew that she could not gamble. Okay, so you walked around with her in Atlantic City. In the casino. We never left the casino. Were you disappointed that you couldn't gamble? That's a silly question, I feel like. Anyway, whatever. No. When you were walking around and talking to her, did you learn anything about her? Not that I recall. Did you have an impression about why she was on the trip? At that point, no. It was just new to the whole thing. George Lucas? What? Did any of the guests for whom you gave a massage mention that they were expecting something sexual? No. Did they ask you to engage in sexual contact and you refused? Objection. The witness, no. Marvin Minsky, I don't know that. George Lucas, no. Donald Trump, no. Did you ever massage Donald Trump? No. Sorry, I have to ask, but did you ever have sex with Alan Dershowitz in the back of a limousine with Virginia and Jeffrey present? Absolutely not. You know who Alan Dershowitz is? I do. You would remember. I would remember that. Did you ever see Virginia Jeffries with any of the people that I just asked you about? No. Did Virginia ever talk to you about having been with any of those people? Objection. The witness says no. Did she tell you that she had met any of those people? No. I believe you saw that in a police report, a reference to a friend of Jeffrey named Glenn and his wife. Do you remember them? Vaguely. Tell me what you remember. Okay. Let's skip that. Trump massage thing. Okay, there's not much on Trump here. This is 2024. Yeah, this is the right one. This one with a 900. This is the correct one. These other two are old. That was all unsealed in 2019, a day before Epstein killed himself. This person on Twitter combined them all together. She posted a Google Drive link, PDF, FYI. Yeah. 50-hour stream to analyze the document. Listen, dude, I've done so much on Jeffrey Epstein before. I'm not doing that again. One time, Back in the day, before my YouTube channel was like a serious YouTube channel, I got it completely blacklisted because I spent 12 hours doing a Jeffrey Epstein stream, and then I uploaded almost the entire 9-hour portion of it, like directly to my YouTube. Just all 9 hours of it, uncensored, uninterrupted. And then YouTube nuked my account entirely. Like the next video got like 10K views or something. It damaged my. I relate too much to that level of brain rot. Yeah, I don't know where it is anymore. Control F Jimmy Beast? What do you mean? What? Mr. Beast, you mean? What are you, crazy? Oh, you mean Jimmy Kimmel? There's no Jimmy Kimmel. There's no Kimmel on here, dude. Look up page 519. Associated with attending deposition at 100 miles. What? There's nothing on the page. Famous pilots on the plane. Okay, everybody stop memeing. Oh my God. Alan Dershowitz is mentioned on here a lot, dude. Wagner, Tom Pritzker, Kevin Spacey. I may have already asked you, but have you met Kevin Spacey? No. Bill Richardson of New Mexico. Jean-Luc Brunel. To this date, we have not heard from parents. I will attempt to establish contact with them during the evening hours. I received a package from attorney Guy Fronston, which is hand-delivered to the police station. Within the package was a letter from Alan Dershowitz and 2 www.myspace.com profiles. Profiles were of and blank. Wait. Or if you search with his last name, they don't always use Alan. They name him. Oh my God. Oh my God. When you put his last name in, there's 137 mentions. Oh my God. The Dersh. Yeah, I read this already. Epstein required Jane Doe to have sexual relations with Dershowitz on numerous occasions while she was a minor in private planes. This is what the attorney was saying was happening. It's not like witness testimony. He was ragging up those air miles. Yeah. Look up the Dersh mentioned at the bottom of the page. What a fucking slime ball. Ghislaine Maxwell was another person in Epstein's inner circle and a co-conspirator. She was someone who consequently also appreciated the immunity granted by the MPA for the crime she committed in Florida. Oh yeah, this is the what is it, like the no prosecution agreement, right? Or is it NOLO? It's probably some fucking Latin word, but that's what it is, right? They're talking about Alan Dershowitz, like no prosecution agreement that he pushed for. What is that? Is that what it's called? Nolo prosecute or whatever? Alexander, no contest? Nolo, no contest? Whatever. Dershowitz helped negotiate an agreement with the provision that provided protection for himself against criminal prosecution of Florida for sexually abusing Jane Doe 3. Because his broad immunity would have been controversial if disclosed, Dershowitz, along with members of Epstein's defense team and the government, tried to keep the immunity provision secret from all of Epstein's victims and the general public, even though such secrecy violated the Crime Victims' Rights Act. Nolo contendere. Nole prosecui is when they don't prosecute you in the limited time frame that they're allowed to prosecute you. There's like a window. I know that because I got hit with that for my DUI. They dropped it without even fucking telling me. Like, they didn't even file it, right? Isn't that what that means? Look at page 288. Dershowitz was saying nothing was happening. He was just calling her a liar, and she was just trying to find people to back up her story. And what did you understand her story to be? Did she tell you that she was recruited to give massages, sexual massages, and have sex with people such as Dershowitz and Andrew? But I knew none of that at the time. Right. Did you tell them anything? Did you tell them during that meeting that you knew of anything about her being recruited to give sex to either Jeffrey or to other people? Objection. Can you rephrase? Yes, that wasn't a very good question. Don't own up to that, Miss Menninger. What did you say during this meeting with Virginia and her investigator? Basically that I believed her, even though she never spoke to me specifically about that, what was going on. Just breeze over the DUI. Dude, I've talked about it so many times, dog. I got arrested for a DUI, but never prosecuted for one, okay? That's it. I was under the legal limit. Long-ass time ago. Okay. Basically that I believed her, even though she never spoke to me specifically about what was going on. That once I learned everything that happened based on reading the police report, I believed her side of the story. And did she tell you what her side of the story was? You know, just that she wasn't a liar. That, you know, she was there to have sex with men that Jeffrey wanted her to sleep with. Did she tell you in that meeting who she had sex with? No. Did she name any of the famous people? Only Dershowitz came up. You two talk about the incident in New York with the puppet. I don't recall. And you formed this opinion about whether she was a liar based on things that you've read in the police report? Objection. I formed my opinion based on my experience in the house. Okay, what was the experience in the house help you form your opinion that what Virginia's saying is true? You know, Jeffrey being open with me about what other girls did for him and that I was not one of those girls. He was always trying to recruit me almost in a way that I could be one of them and travel with him and live the life of luxury if only I did this. So after 5 years of learning what was happening, I can look back knowing I only knew Virginia for a very short time. Looking back, I can make assumptions about what was required of her. Did she tell you how old she was When she says she started working with Jeffrey, she didn't. Did she tell you how long she worked with Jeffrey? No. Have you read all the things that have been attributed to her in the press? Many of them. I don't know that I've read all of them, but I've read some. In this meeting with Virginia and the investigator, you said Ghislaine Maxwell did not come up. Will this end Dersh's career? No. Alan Dershowitz is fucking gross, dog. Like, that's kind of a superpower. Okay? When you're that fucking gross, there's like not really anything that can take you down. You know what I mean? Everybody pretty much knows he's disgusting. He's like a disgusting, filthy little pervert, right? So it almost becomes like that under other circumstances would be considered awful, right? It would be a career ender. I'll give you an example from Twitch. It's kind of like Pokimane, right? Pokimane has cultivated an image that is like, you know, very brand friendly. So when she does something, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and it is like a little out of pocket, she gets an extra amount of scrutiny for that, and people make a much larger deal about that because her brand is not tarnished, okay? The way she presents herself is overall very positive, okay? Whereas when you talk about a guy like Alan Dershowitz, it's the exact opposite. You expect him to be a filthy little pervert anyway. So, like, when you hear more about him being a filthy little pervert, you're like, oh, that's just par for the course. Does that make sense? That transition going to be such a bad clip for you? Why? I'm specifically talking about it's an opposite comparison. As in, chat completely misinterpreting your analogy. Like, the point is, everybody basically understands he's like a psycho. He's a freak, okay? So there's no double standard there. There's no hypocrisy there. The thing is, you have to understand, people care more about hypocrisy than they care about death, okay? You could be a murderer and be like, I'm a murderer, dog. This is what I do. And if you do another murder, people will be like, oh, no, that's normal. Like, you're a murderer. That's what you do, okay? People are more mad, both online and in general, about not even real hypocrisy, but perceived hypocrisy than they are about like someone who's just a bad guy doing more bad shit. That's why the standards are very different for the likes of genuinely evil people who are openly evil. Yeah, it's like if you were to do a crypto gambling stream versus Trainwreck's doing a crypto gambling stream. Pretty much the same. Yes, exactly. It's the same as people yelling at me about random shit like buying a car, buying a house is expensive, but they would never in a million years offer a similar style of scrutiny to anyone else because they perceive that to be a hypocritical act for someone like myself. That's it. It's kind of like Donald Trump, like being on Redacted's flight. Okay. What is the Dersh even up to nowadays? He's like 90? Bro, he was tapped to defend the state of Israel in the International Court of Justice. Not that I recall. Do you know the name of the investigator, Valerie Rivera? Have you read the statements that Ghislaine issued to the press? No. Do you know what it says? No. Oh, by the way, Clinton Likes Him Young is featured in this as well, for the record. Damn, bro. It's crazy that Bill Clinton's name is mentioned less than Alan Dershowitz. The Dersh! 100 times less. Well, to be fair, the Dersh did actually defend Epstein. I can't recall having a meal with them, but just so we're clear, the allegation that Clinton had a meal on Jeffrey's Island is 100% false. But he may have had a meal on his plane. Yes, I'm sure he had a meal on his plane. How do you know how many times he flew on Jeffrey's plane? I don't. Do you know who Doug Band is? I do. How do you know him? He used to work or still works for Bill Clinton. Did you ever have a relationship with him? We are talking about adult consensual relationships. It's off the record. I'm not asking what you did with him. I'm asking if you ever had, confidential relationship with him. If you understand the term relationship, certainly you can answer that. Define relationship. Someone that you would have spent time together, either seeing them in a romantic relationship or you need to be, what do you mean by romantic? I was friends with Doug, but you are suggesting something more, so I want to be clear what you were actually asking me. You defined it. You said you were friends with him. If that's what you were, that's all I need to know. While you were on the trip with President Clinton, do you recall where you stayed at these locations? In other words, would you leave the jet and stay overnight at a hotel? Do you have a recollection of this trip? I recollect the trip, but if you're asking me where we stayed, you can see it's a very fast-paced trip. It was very tiring. Form and foundation. I don't know why the name is. I'm sorry. I have no idea. I recognize the name, but that's it. Was Johanna Sojberg a masseuse? Pagluccia. Objection to the form and foundation. What are you asking me? I'm sorry. When Joanna Sojberg worked for Jeffrey Epstein, did she perform massages? Anybody be surprised if Hasan is on there? Yeah, dude. I was on the Jeffrey Epstein logs as someone who was, what, 14 years old at the time? I don't know if you're aware of this, but these are literally like things that happened while I was in Turkey. So yeah, that probably would be very weird. Did you have any sexual contact with her and the president or anybody other than Jeffrey Epstein? I don't really recall, but fair amount is how many massages you got from Joanna. I'm going to instruct you not to answer. It definitely does. Objection form. I already testified that I don't really recall Anushka. David Copperfield, page 2002. Search Kimmel in this one. Bro, I don't think Jimmy Kimmel's in this, okay? Yeah, he's not. Copperfield? Why the hell is David Copperfield on here? David Copperfield was at dinner. Epstein was there, and there was another girl present who looked young, and Joanna asked what school she went to, and Joanna did not recognize the school name as being a college, and she said it was possible it was a high school-age girl. Joanna said Copperfield questioned me if I was aware what the girls were getting paid to find other girls. David Copperfield? No. I mean, I don't know anything about him. Have you ever met David Copperfield? Yes. Do you recall when you initially met him? Yes. Can you tell me what that was? Sure. Someone called me from the house and said that he would be there, and if I wanted to come have dinner, then I could meet him. So when I arrived at the house, he wasn't there yet, but I waited. I believe it's Sarah Kellen. There was another girl there. David Copperfield still uses pics from 1990 on all of his... Oh, he's not dead? Search Houdini. Yeah, that's a made-up term. All right, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to type it in anyway. Oh, God. Oh, thank God. TrueAnon. Alfredo Rodriguez, Jeffrey Epstein's former butler, claims that Ghislaine Maxwell threatened him if he spoke about what went on at Epstein's house. She said, I forbid you that you're going to be, that I'd be sorry if I contact any of her friends again. Okay, other than you will be sorry if you contact any of my friends again. Did she say anything else about what you know about Mr. Epstein and or what goes on at his house? She said something like, don't open your mouth or something like that. But you have to understand, I'm a civil, humble. What? I'm a civil, humble. I came as an immigrant to serve his people. And right now, you feel a little, I'm 55 and I'm afraid. First of all, I don't have a job. I'm glad this is on tape because I don't want nothing to happen to me. This is the way they treat you. Better do this and you shut up and don't talk to nobody. And when you say this is the way they treat, who specifically are you talking about when you say the word they? Maxwell. And usually when you say the word they, you're not talking about one person, wealthy people. Oh my God, I'm muted. So here's another part of the puzzle. Les Wexner is so incredibly cooked on this. Objection to the form of foundation. Did you ever provide Roberts with an outfit of sexual nature? I think we addressed the outfit issue. I'm asking if you ever provided her with an outfit of sexual nature to work for Les Wexner. Categorically, no. You did get that. I said categorically no. What the fuck does that mean? Wait, Stephen Hawking is on the list? Oh no, some of our faves, dude. Oh! All photographs or video containing any image of you and the following individuals, to the extent you have such photographs or video in their original native format, please produce them. Ghislaine Maxwell, Alan Dershowitz, Jeffrey Epstein, Andrew Albert Christian Edward, the Duke of York, also known as Prince Andrew. Ron Eppinger, Bill Clinton, Stephen Hawking, Al Gore. What? The hell? You can issue a reward if any of Virginia's friends, acquaintance, family come forward, help provide her allegations are false. Strongest is the Clinton dinner. And the new version of the Virgin Islands that Stephen Hawking participated in an underage orgy. What? Jeffrey Epstein vacation to Ghislaine Maxwell. This is an email from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell. You can issue a reward to any of Virginia's friends, acquaintance, family that come forward and help prove her allegations are false. The strongest is the Clinton dinner and the new version in the Virgin Islands that Stephen Hawking participated in an underage orgy. He's saying that's a false allegation. Same username for Gmail as his awful Spotify account? Yeah. Yeah, his Gmail account was jeffreyepsteinvacation@gmail.com, and so was his Spotify account username. Also, this motherfucker could not write, dude. Ghislaine, some helpful leakage from Ross Gow to Ghislaine Maxwell. In today's Daily Mail print edition on the web, Prince Andrew's sex slave accused 2 teens rape, 3 years joined Jeffrey Epstein's harem, and mom told the detective about her daughter's past drug use and also how many kids in Royal Palm Beach are involved in drugs, witchcraft, and animal sacrifice, according to a confidential report. What the hell? Wow, it's so helpful. Thanks, Ross Gow, managing partner of Acuity Reputation. Oh my God. Wait, were there more emails above? I think. Yeah, no, I get it. He means in terms of discrediting her, yes. What is this? On July 25th, oh my God, it's my birthday. 2006, Epstein turned himself into county jail and was released on a $3,000 bond. Epstein is a return for arraignment on August 25th. Come on, stop saying shit like that. Wait, what? It is my birthday. Proof you were there on July 25th, 2006. That's 3 years before I came to America. I was 15 years old at the time. Yeah, if I was there, I'd be a victim, not a perpetrator of acts. Just like some of you are about to be victimized by this top of the hour ad break, unless you subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. That's right. How did you come to America? A plane? Coincidence? I think not. Yeah. Anyone who's ever been on a plane must have been on the Lolita Express, the only plane that exists.